Good morning, Northwood Temple Academy families. Wow, what a week it's been on the campus of Northwood Temple Academy. We started the week with spiritual emphasis days in the middle and high school, and wow, the Lord really showed up. I believe we celebrated about 8 students who gave their hearts to the Lord and followed through with baptism, and many of our young people rededicated their life. Some even had words spoken over to them that God was calling them into some type of ministry. It was electric in that chapel. You know what really blessed my soul was watching our young men worship and pray for one another. In a culture where you don't see that very often, or sometimes where it's frowned upon, it was a joy to watch them actually lay their hands on one another and pray out loud for one another. To see them with their hands raised high, worshiping the Lord, boys and girls. It was a beautiful sight to behold. And I pray that, those of us who have social media, every now and then a memory will pop up and it'll take you back to that event. That's my heart for some of these pictures and videos, that as our students leave this safe place and they go out into the world to universities, colleges, get jobs, that on their social media accounts, sometimes these videos and pictures will pop up and they'll stop to remember what God did in their lives. Scripture speaks of that often all through the Old Testament. God continually tells his people, you remember what I've done. You remember what I've done. And that's my prayer for these young people. And then last night we had the junior senior prom. And it was electric in there too at the Cape Fear Botanical Garden. We had so much fun dancing with one another and eating together and fellowship. It was a sweet time in that room, and I believe the kids had a great time. And boy, did they look good. We got a handsome group of people here, boys and girls. As you glance at the calendar for the remainder of May, just like it is every May, it is filled with concerts, programs, and athletic events. As NTA has grown and all of the programs within NTA have grown, creating the calendar without conflict is an impossible job. With that being said, we try our very best to keep you updated when a calendar change must take place. While NTA has limited or somewhat no control over the scheduling of conference games and state games, and we definitely don't know from year to year how far our students are going to move through in their various athletic teams. So we've had to move some events because of the scheduling. The good news is our students have moved far in their athletic events, and that's forced us to move a few events. Please take note, and more information will go out about this, but that the middle school band concert and the high school band concert will take place on the same night this year. Both bands will play on May 16th in the Worship Center. The middle school band, that's 6th, and then 7th and 8th, will play at 6:30, followed by the high school band concert at 7:30. Listen, I would encourage you, if you have 6th grade through 8th grade band students, that you stay for the high school band students so you can give them a picture of what's to come. On that special night, Mr. Wright, and this is his final band performance on the campus of NTA, will celebrate the seniors that have played for him for many years, some of them 8 years. And he will take a few minutes just to celebrate what they mean to him and what they brought to the band program. You don't want to miss it, really. And your children, encourage them to just stay and enjoy the evening. I'm sorry for any inconvenience this might have caused your family, but all department leaders are trying to work together to make sure all of our students get the recognition that they deserve. Now, can you give a big shout out to our middle school girls soccer team who won their first, now listen, the first NTA ever middle school soccer girls championship. So when you get a chance, if you see some of those girls, will you give them a big whoop whoop? I hated that I didn't get to go to the game, but I had to be at prom last night. And let's give a good yay for Coach Freddie and the work he's put in. If you haven't watched him coach, you need to. He's something to listen to and watch. Make sure you read the e-news every week, because that's where all the events will be listed so you can be reminded of what's coming up. And really, starting next week, there's something every night. I would encourage you, if you've never been to Coffee and Conversations, that the one that takes place next week, you'll join us because we'll have some of our senior students doing their senior Bible capstone presentations. I can promise you, you will be blessed to see all of the things that they've learned this year in their philosophy class, Understanding the Times. It is a class that will take them through college and help them to understand all the various worldviews that are going to flood their minds when they get out of this place where everything's been taught from a biblical perspective. In that senior class, however, we try to make sure that they are aware of other worldviews. In fact, they learn about 7 other worldviews and their perspective on about 9 different disciplines like history and politics and law. So I look forward to as they compare and contrast some of these worldviews in their senior Bible capstone presentation. Join us. This time it will be in the small chapel. You can come in the doors that are off Andover and just be a part of this wonderful night celebrating the seniors and just listening and being really amazed at all they've learned. Now, next week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And I really implore you, I say it all the time, but I really mean it this year, to encourage your children to honor their teachers. I just watched a video or either read an article just recently that talked about the percentage of teachers that have been cussed out in the classroom, that have been physically assaulted by students. Listen, teaching is not hard work. Is hard work. I believe it's the hardest job that you can have in the world. The sad news is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of teachers are leaving the field every year. And the sad thing is none of the graduating from high school are going into the fields of teaching. So when you get a good teacher and you want to keep them at your school, part of that is teaching your children how to honor the position and the work of that teacher. No, they're not perfect and they will make mistakes. But I can assure you that the teachers on this campus love your children. So teach your children how to love and honor them. Have them write a card. I don't care if they're in kindergarten. I don't care if they're a senior. Have them write a card. Have them write a letter. Bring a gift. Send a gift to give to that teacher. Bless them with a gift card. Our wellness team will be on campus next week. They have lots of things planned, a breakfast, a lunch. We'll give away some giveaways and some teacher gift cards. But teachers love to hear how they blessed families. So will you take a minute and teach your children to do that? You will not be sorry. I want to end with this. So to give you a little idea of what a teacher does every day. And this is an article written by someone going into teaching. She said, 6 years ago, I considered going back to school to get a certificate in elementary education. I thought teaching would be a pretty sweet gig with summers off to spend with my kids. I got a job working as a substitute teacher in our district with kids in grades K through 8. I figured I should test the waters a bit. And boy, am I glad I did. Because those waters are deep and rough. And you pretty much need to be an Olympic swimmer to remain there, which I quickly realized I am not. I am patient. I am kind. I adore children, but I am not a superhero. And quite frankly, that is what it takes to be a teacher today. It takes knowing exactly what to do when the tough kid walks into your classroom with tears in his eyes because his dog died last night. It takes exactly knowing the right way to help a child who struggles desperately in math without destroying their self-confidence. It takes maintaining your composure with 27 children at 27 reading levels with 27 different personalities are all vying for attention at the same time. It takes taking a strong stomach because you will be dealing with puke, sometimes blood, and boogers. So many boogers. All kinds of gross things. It takes knowing how to discipline without causing embarrassment. It takes being able to handle a constant level of noise that would make most people's heads spin. It takes being able to handle your heart breaking when you see an innocent child hurting from a difficult family situation that you're powerless to change. It takes being able to appear confident when you have no idea what the answer is. It takes knowing exactly when and how to intervene when you see a child being ostracized by their peers. It takes being able to maintain a straight face when a child says something inappropriate but hilarious. It takes nerves of steel when you hear that emergency alarm go off, knowing that you alone are responsible for the safety of these children. It takes being able to go home with enough energy for your own children after an exhausting day of wrangling a classroom full of other people's children. It takes giving it your all for the short time they're yours, knowing that what you say, what you do, and what you model may have an impact on that child for the rest of their life. Because I bet every single one of us can remember one of our teachers. And to this day, a few times a month, I stroll through the school entrance to sub a class or two, unburdened by lesson plans, test scores, and emails from parents. I do my best to fill their shoes for a few hours, and I'm humbled by the task. Because those teachers, their cars are already in the parking lot when I arrive in the mornings and remain in the parking lot long after I leave for the day. I see them taking their work home at night, on the weekends, and over breaks. Like I said, they're superheroes. So today, if you get a minute, thank a teacher for caring about our kids, your kids, for shaping the future generation, for doing what most of us cannot. Parents, teach your children to honor the authority that God has put over them. I pray you have a great weekend. I'll see you over the next few weeks for many nights and many days at the various events. It's a precious time on the campus of NTA, and God has been so very good to us. Have a good weekend.